Anyone have anything for Lindy?
Lindy, as you looked at that game, what were the basic problems you felt your team had?
Well, I thought our puck play was, I talked about things we needed to do better. I thought our puck play in game one wasn't good enough. I thought, you look at the first goal against, we have the puck. It looked a lot like the goal we had that we scored against Montreal. We could have moved the puck to our defenseman, got going up ice. We hung on to it. We fell down. We had, I think, 3 or 4 of the goals were just the result of bad puck play. You can't beat yourself. We beat ourselves, and we know we have to be better. That's what we said after game one. It's my job to make sure we get our minds in the right place, and I think we could have made a big difference on 4 of the goals at least.
What's your sense of where Tage Thompson's head is at? After
Yeah, I think he got frustrated. I think he was really trying to press, and I think sometimes when you're pressing, it didn't get any better tonight for him, for sure. We're all in this together. It's not about one guy. He knows he needs to be better. We have a lot of guys that know that their game has to be better. We're at 1-1 right now. We're pretty well in the same place we were last series, and I said before game one, this is going to be a very difficult series. They just beat a heck of a team. We need to handle the puck better and put it in the right spot at the right time.
Lindy, this team so many times this season has come back in the third period from a 2-goal or even a 3-goal deficit. What did Montreal keep your team from doing in the third period to build an attempt at a rally, or what did your team not do in the third period?
Well, I think if you look at the Norris chance, it was a great opportunity to get back in the game. I thought we passed up. There was a play with McLeod where we passed up putting the puck to the net again. We had a lot of zone time. We just didn't turn that zone time into something good for ourselves.
Lindy, over here, neither team scored on the power play tonight, but it just felt to me like Montreal at least generated looks and had momentum on the next shift, 5-on-5, and felt it was a struggle for at least your top unit tonight again. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair, for sure. We had a couple, our top unit had a couple good looks. I thought our entries, again, we struggled. Part of our puck play, we've been a pretty high percentage entry team. We just didn't solve the little bit of pressure at the blue line. And, that frustrates you because you got to go back and you're going to burn up 20 seconds. We'll get there. We've been there. We'll get there. It's hard. I think that, they got a little bit fortunate. We broke a stick on one. We had Mel playing with a bad hand. He had needed stitches, and he was playing with one hand on his stick. So we had a full, I think, almost 2 power plays where we spent a full 2 minutes inside our zone, and so those are hard to recover from.
Lindy, how much of the frustration in that game is rooted in the fact that you knew they were going to be better than game one? You knew certainly at the start they were going to be better, and you guys weren't able to match them off the start.
Yeah, I think, again, Mike, that it comes down to our puck play. You have to get the puck in behind them. I'll just use the first goal. Everything about that first goal is just says that the desperation to move the puck, get it going north, and get it in behind them wasn't there. We were looking for something better. There wasn't anything better.
Lindy, you were just talking about Tage and the frustration, and most elite players are incredibly hard on themselves. That's what makes them good. For you as a coach, is there a line where it becomes counterproductive?
In what sense?
That the player becomes so wrapped up in his frustrations, and how can you address that if that's the case?
I think every good player that I've been around expects a real high level of play out of themselves. all the best players I've been around know how to flush that and get ready for the next game. He's got to put that away. And like I said, he's not the only player that has to flush the game out. His game probably stood out because of a couple of the big goals against. But he's dealt with a lot this year and handled a lot pretty well. Won a world championship, won an Olympic, helped us get to where we got. He went through some stretches where he struggled like any player. I said it this morning, sometimes the top goal scorers don't get it done for you. You know, you can look at the score sheet, it's a secondary. So can you make a difference by setting teammates up or screening? I mean, if you look at a couple of the goals, the Boston goals, we don't score them if it isn't Tage standing in front of their goaltender. I mean, that's some of the stuff you don't notice. You start just focusing in on one thing. We all agree here, and I'm not defending his game tonight. We all agree he needs to be better. But there's other things you can do, and he was doing it. Samuelson goal we scored. We don't score that unless he's in front of the net. So, you know, there's some goal scorers don't want to go to the net front. He goes there.
Lindy, what are your greatest strengths for 5 months has just been putting games like this away and moving on and responding. What's allowed you to, as a group, to do that consistently?
Well, we can't afford to spend any time on that game. We need, you know, we'll probably, in all likelihood, we'll probably practice tomorrow. Get the legs going, feel good about puck touches, because we didn't touch our touches just weren't, you know, how many pucks did we pass, hit a stick and bounce off? We didn't get them out. Some of it was pretty poor execution on our part.
Lindy, you had shuffled your lines a little bit in the second period. Do you think that's something that could potentially carry over? Did you want to just try and get a spark in this game? How do you approach that mindset moving forward?
Yeah, you know, I think it's always when you're looking for a spark, like you might throw a winger. We've got Krebs that can play wing or center, so move pieces around. We've gone for a long time with pretty well the same lines. I mean, you look at the McLeod line, I think they played well, but there's been, you know, I don't think any of them have scored a goal yet. You know, and nobody's spending any time talking about that, but you like the way they play. So, you know, I think it's, you know, finding those opportunities inside of a game to make a difference, and sometimes it is putting another player with a couple other guys, and it gives them a little bit of spark, a little bit of newness. Thank you.